Hello and welcome to lesson 3 in this series of 10 lessons for tenor viol at the lower intermediate level. We're going to start today with Viol Player Book 3 and looking at half position. So if we look on page 1 and we've got chapter 1, we've got Mrs. Nag Viol's challenge. And she likes to set a few challenges. But this is where we've got our hand first on the first fret. So we have been putting our hands on like this, straight to the second fret. Now you've got to do it and aim for the first fret. Or just feel where you're going anyway. So have a quick reference, look, and then come back. So thumb still under the second finger. And of course, because you've gone back a fret, what you need to do now is add a finger. So where on the A string we had a C with a 2, we've now got a C with a 3. And now where we had G with a 1 on the F string, we've now got G with a 2. So we can play F sharp. But if we look at these exercises on this page, let's have a look at number 1 and pizzicato. Okay, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So you can see there I've written lines where you need to hold your fingers down when you're playing a G and going up to the A string. Keep your second finger down there on the G, and also when you're going up to B flat. And that's a really good reason to go to half position, because we don't really want to be doing this like this. We want to have different fingers so we can finger it for resonance of thirds. Let's have a look at number 3 now. So pizzicato. Here we go. 1, 2. So again, keeping your second finger down for much longer than you would otherwise think, just to get you orientated in that position. Anyway, there's a few more exercises to do, but let's go over the page. I want to have a look at F major scale. And this half position, we've got an E natural with a 2. And this is one of the things about moving back to half position, that we've had E with a 1, now we have it with a 2. So if you just think about that, it'll stick. Okay, here we go. So this is F major then. 3, 4. So I've still got my tunnel here for my hand shape. I'm still holding my fingers down on the G, A and B flat. I'm still holding C down when I play the open D. So in the last lesson we talked about the Italian ground where we had B flat here. Now we've got it here. So you can go back and do that piece in that phrase in half position and really enjoy the B flat that's here. Let's look at this arpeggio now. Pizzicato first of all. So I pointed out in the last lesson that we're having chordal fingering now on 2 and 3 and 3 and 4. And because we're in half position, we've got a 3 and a 4 on the C and the F. Let's just try this together then. So 1, 2, 3. C, F. And I've still got my 4th finger on, because it doesn't feel right to take it off somehow. So F, A, C, F. Now let's try it with the bow. So bow on the string, sink down, here we go, 2, 3. arpeggio 3 times. Maybe the 3rd time you do it with your eyes closed. Here we go. 2, 3. Close your eyes. And because your fingers are there in chordal fingering, it feels really secure, doesn't it? It's really good feeling. Anyway, keep up with your scales. The notes that I've put on these 2 pages, this is page 2 and 3, to introduce you to half position notes. Shall we have a look at these? So we've got F sharp, G, A flat, A on the F string. So, and I put a rhythm next to that pattern. So should we just try these notes to that rhythm? Okay, here we go. So, 3, 4. So F sharp, G, A flat, G sharp, A. And then on the next page I've done the same but on the D string. So we've got E flat, E natural is what we had in the scale of F major, F and F sharp. So let's do that to that rhythm that's there, so the semiquaver rhythm. Okay, here we go. So 3, 4. Let's turn the page. And I'd just like to look at page 4 now, to this piece number 3, just to play a melody in half position so that you feel like that it's getting orientated in your hand. And I want to do this in 2 ways. First, looking at the left hand, and second, looking at the right hand and building on what we started to learn in the Italian ground and Forqueré's principles of bowing with the dynamics. So starting at the tip, let's just play all the way through for the moment. It's quite repetitive, this, and then you'll start to feel orientated in half position. So, got your tunnel. Here we go, and 1, 2. So you can see why I said, got your tunnel? Because we need to keep fingers down for the C, here, and then coming up to the D. If you've got a flatter hand, it's really difficult, isn't it, to get string clearance if your finger isn't on its fingertip. So I put my hand up and I've cleared the string. So we've got C with a 3, that was with a 2, and now we've got B flat with a 1, and G with a 2. And it's very often a string cross, when you come across, you get settled as to what you're doing on one string, and then you come across to a string, and you think, oh, that's a 2. Okay, so if you find that you're having to really think about that, then go back and do it pizzicato. But now let's work on the dynamics on this. So we've got contrasting phrases here, haven't we, with dynamics, and let's think about 2 ways of playing loud then. So increasing the bow speed, and applying a bit more pressure a la Mr. Forqueray with that second finger. And we talked about whether this was coming from the finger itself, from anti-clockwise wrist rotation, or whether it was coming from the elbow, right back here. One of those ways will make sense and enable you to play louder. So let's play the first phrase then, loud, but not as loud as fortissimo that we have in bar 16, but just loud, okay? Play that phrase with me now. Okay, after 2, 1, 2. And I always think we need to play it again, because perhaps it's not until about the third bar that you're thinking, oh yes, I'm supposed to be playing this loud. So let's do it again. Think about playing loud, second finger on the hair, more bow. Here we go. 1, 2. Now let's do the next phrase, piano. So this is where we're going to have shorter bow strokes, and we're going to support the hair with the tip of the third finger. So let's go from the upbeat of bar 4. 1, 2. And that is quite a considerable dynamic change, isn't it? It is perfectly possible to do so many dynamics on a viol. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Okay, so now let's have a look and see how we can play this fortissimo in bar 16. So that's even more pressure, but by applying more pressure you need a faster bow speed. If you don't apply, if you apply pressure with a slower bow speed, you get the creaky door. You can hear that at the beginning of the bow stroke. Not so nice. So start the note normally, just move the bow as you would normally, and then apply some pressure. Okay, let's go from 16. 1, 2. Less bow now. So that's a nice simple tune, isn't it? First tune in half position, although we've got 3 others or 2 others before this you can experiment on as well. What I'm trying to do with these videos is to share the book out between the treble and the bass as well, so trying to have slightly different pieces on each of the lower intermediate videos, hence starting at number 3 on the tenor. So nice easy piece, simple rhythm, not thinking about too much about the notes, hopefully they're coming. Okay, let's look at B flat major now. And I can't stress how important it is to practice your scales and arpeggios. They just orientate you and you know what you're doing, so that when you come to consort music and you're sight reading, you go, oh yeah, I can do that because I know my B flat major scale, or I know my F major scale. Right, that's the end of Mrs. Nag Viol then, for the scales nag. Here we go. So this is B flat, and we've got an A with a 2. And before we had A as a 1, so this is just one to watch out for, rather like we had E with a 2. Okay, here we go. So B flat major. So 3, 4. So let's do that again, thinking about the notes as we go. Not looking at the left hand and holding fingers down when you string cross. Not much then. Here we go. 3, 4. Okay, now let's try the arpeggio. So we've got B flat, D, F, with a 3 now, not a 2. And then a 4 because they're on the same fret. So let's do this pizzicato then. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And I kept my B flat down. My first note, I kept it down all the time, because I measured then where 3 was, 4. Now with the bow. Actually, I haven't showed you how to go from arco to pizzicato, and it's really useful if you can do this quickly. So I've got my bow, the bow wood normally, and then I'm turning it upside down so that the horsehair is looking upwards. And as I've gone from the bowing position to this upside down, I've transferred my bow hold so that I've got my 2nd, 3rd and 4th finger gripping on the stick, and then I've freed up my thumb and 1st finger. So I've got my bow up, the bow hair pointing upwards. I'm now gripping with these 3 fingers. So let's just do that a few times. That way and that way. So thumb on the side and pluck with your 1st finger. And now we'll do arco. That's with the bow. Arpeggio. 1, 2, 3. And no, because I like doing arpeggios 3 times, and the 3rd time maybe close your eyes. We'll do it again 3 times. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Close your eyes. Okay, let's turn the page again. And I'd like to go to number 5, Rond 7. So here we've got lots of chances of doing some dynamics, haven't we, with phrase, with forte and piano and the repeat. And we've got a rather interesting looking line in line 3, haven't we, from bar 9, and we've also got a piece in 3 flats. So let's have a look. Can we start please from bar 9? And I'd like to do this pizzicato first of all. So we've got if I just play you the first couple of bars, we've got barre with B flat and E flat. So open D, B flat, E flat, and another barre there at the end of the bar. So it's the same pattern. And then same thing. Let's go on. I'll just show you. So that line is really going to dictate how fast you play the piece, isn't it? So let's do it with me, and we'll do it pizzicato to begin with, just so that you can get the barre sorted out. Okay, here we go. 3, 4. Now let's do this with the bow. So 3, 4. Are you getting used to G being there with a 2? It's quite a weird feeling, isn't it, when you're just new to it? Having a G with a 2. So with this line, I've marked sort of shorter bows by putting the staccato dots on top. So I'm just stopping the bow after just having a little shorter bow to make the note short and resonant. So if we take make that the pulse of the piece. Dum, bum, dee, dee, dum, dum, dum. And that's obviously quite slow, isn't it? That might be a good learning speed, but I think we probably need to go a lot faster than that for the spirit of this piece. So I think line 3 on this needs perhaps more practice than any other line. Excuse me. So let's do the first line perhaps at this speed. And put your bow on the string, and let's think about the right hand and having a heavy arm and the second finger on the hair, playing loud. Okay, here we go. So 3, 4. And then a retake, and then we're going to do this the first line again, and then quietly. So this time you're going to adjust your bow and support the hair and have shorter bows. 3, 4. Now carrying on, still piano. Louder. Right, who's still got their second finger down on C? If you have, you get a gold star. Brilliant. If you haven't, then you don't get one. So it's the C, isn't it, in bar 7, to hold down when you play E flat. Okay, let's have a look at bar 13 now. This is quite repetitive here. So we've got forte. So now you've got forte, the third finger is going to come off the hair, and the second finger is going to be a bit more pronounced for that forte playing. Here we go. So I know that we're doing this the first time and putting dynamics in on the hoof, so you're doing well if you can do that. Okay, here we go. 3, 4. Anybody got C down still? I've still got my G down actually, but C down would be good. And now quietly. Now loud. So more pressure and more bow for loud. Let's just do the last line and see if we can get that contrast in the dynamics, as well as all the notes. And so if we're mezzo piano, we're going to be supporting the hair with slower bows. Here we go. 3, 4. And if you can't get those contrasts in dynamics, it's just most wonderful thing about playing the viol is to be able to do that, to be able to play really, really quietly and really, really loudly. So let the rhythm in the last 2 bars then, or the last bar, let me play it to you again. So we've got a B flat, haven't we, on the first quaver of the last bar, and then a B natural. It's a B natural with a 2. So we've got the notes at the top of the page there in different rhythms. Again, we've got B flat, B natural, C, C sharp, and it's a good idea just to look at these notes on each string in isolation, and then to say, well, I wonder if I play E flat here, I wonder where the other E is an octave below. Oh, it must be down here somewhere. Or I play an F sharp here, and the other one's down here. Whoops! So you play F sharp with the first finger, not the second finger. So you're orientating yourself along each string, and then you're orientating yourself across the strings as well. So you start to see how the notes link together. So that's a good exercise to do. Anyway, that's the end of lesson 3, and I'll see you at lesson 4.